Thank you for staying with us. We have some messages here. Let me just quickly take this one. This one says, good morning, presenter. The issue of vote buying. The best way to go about it is to cancel election. The election, if it's so, evident that we have vote buying in a particular polling unit. This one is coming from Femi Iroba from Ondo State. The next one says, good morning. We pray for the best in the forthcoming general elections and urge the federal government to do all it takes to stabilize the economy and security. Keep them coming. We will share them with the rest of the viewer. But the next report is actually about the issue-based campaigns. Of course, there are concerns that sometimes the politicians derail whenever they are engaging their supporters about the issues that they want to tackle when they get to office, and instead they talk about the opponents using abusive words and all of that. But how do we get our heads around this situation? Let's take this next report.
The Independent National Electoral Commission will soon declare Nigeria's political space open for campaigns vis-a-vis the 2023 general elections. The campaign period has the political public relations industry abuzz at the moment. Parties and their candidates will have a total of 150 days to campaign. Without a doubt, the campaign period provides many opportunities for both candidates and voters in the run-up to elections. While candidates are expected to use the campaign period to sell themselves and their ideas to voters, voters are expected to use the campaign period to evaluate candidates and decide whether or not they will vote for them.
First of all, the political parties have to be properly organized. Let there be democratic ethos and practices that suffuse all the procedures before they go to power. And until that is also gotten, it is still, a far cry to say that, there is going to be peaceful campaigns. There's going to be peaceful election, and therefore there's going to be responsible governance at the end of the day.
Indeed, there are substantial issues that will occupy the campaign trail: education, agriculture, health, infrastructure, and insecurity, to mention a few. However, many are concerned that politicians spend significant time during these campaigns to focus on smearing the image of the opposing aspirants and not on issues deserving attention.
The bottom line, the opponent does not deserve to be given the mandate during elections. So what you do is not to go and start abusing the person. Or this one is short, or this one is tall, or this one is a thief, that one is not a thief, and so on and so forth. No, but that, this is the program I have. I will have so many challenges, especially in this country.
But this is not restricted to Nigeria, unfortunately. In even developed democracies, sometimes the opposition will want to demarcate, like they say in Nigeria. They are competitors, because in the struggle for political contest, for political power, politicians, whether in Africa or in Australia, in developed democracies or developing democracies, they want to go for the jugular, to demarcate the individual, because it's about competition. Rarely they focus on issues. It's just not restricted in Nigeria. It's just that in Nigeria it has taken a more virulent form.
It is said Nigeria has never been so divided along ethnic and religious lines as it is today, and public commentators have cautioned the electorate to be wary of politicians who will seek to leverage on this sad scenario.
Unfortunately, like you, even informed electorate that could discern are still prisoners of these base sentiments. There are people who are only supporting a particular candidate on the basis of ethnic or religious solidarity, not on the basis of what they can do or what they can deliver, what have they done in the past. If you look at them critically, what is their capacity to deliver? People make this very pedestrian example, which to me is very valid. When you go to the hospital, you don't ask of the ethnic or religious identity of those who are going to examine you medically. You ask for competence.
Social media has become a significant space for political parties and electorates. And while the operations of the mainstream media is regulated in the country, the social media is not. Campaign of calumny easily thrives on this free space, which millions of Nigerians have access to.
It may take a while, I want to admit, before we can change, the narrative about Nigerian, politics. It is something that requires, deliberate effort, and it also calls for the change of attitude, of the politicians.
But I'm hoping that the media will rise above the fray, not to be susceptible to manipulation by, and then not given politicians who are known to be divisive, who know whether they want to promote their candidate, they must demarcate someone, like they say. They must insult or harp on all the sentiments that divide the nation.
The upcoming elections are critical for the direction of Nigeria's leadership, and the goal of every political hopeful should be to win over opponents and those on the fence with intelligent, substance-based campaigns. Failure to pursue an issue-based approach to the campaigns would be a minus to the Nigerian people and the development of the nation's democracy.
And I'm sure we always want to do what we can to advance the development we have attained so far in the country. When we talk about democracy in the country, we have some messages here. This one says, "My name is Kolawole Colin, texting from Ogun State. I believe the approval is key in determining who emerge. Look at the way Liz Truss and the opponent stood in front of the electorate, telling them what they want to do. So let's call on aspirants to do same to ensure approval rating."